Hey everyone, this is Dr. Kennard, Mr. Tobin, Dr. Tom Foolery, and of course the 420. Just the 420. I'm going to just say the 420.
No, there's no the.
There's no the. It's just 420.
Yeah. Well, do you see a the?
It's a little pretentious to say the
Read it.
420, right? It's a little
It does.
a little
So,
pretentious.
I is Google Translator working or is it pranking me? Did you see the potato, Dr. Tom?
It's a joke based on mistranslation that someone did when the Pope visited the United States a while back. They were selling shirts for Spanish-speaking people, and instead of saying "Yo vi el Papa," I saw the Pope, they said "Yo vi la Papa," I saw the potato.
That's beautiful. That's great. So how's everyone
It's
doing?
good.
Good. Good.
It's
Was I
odd
up
to
at
me that
3:30 this morning? Yes, I was. I was up at 3:30 this morning. Anyone who sees me on Facebook is like, "What's Andy doing up at 3:30 in the morning?" Brain, braining things.
Andy being Andy.
Yep, that's right.
So, can you hear us, Toby?
Yes, I can.
There he is.
I'm wondering how I'm trying something different today. So I'm trying to figure out my audio and stuff. Because I
Well,
have high speed internet. I have high speed internet and there's something I think else going on.
Well,
you've got a little buzz, but you're not
you're not chopping. You're not roboting.
chopping.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you got a little buzz going on.
Interesting.
But dude, we hear every single word in sequence at the appropriate time.
Yeah, I go back and I watch these and I hear myself and I'm like, damn, I don't know if I should even go on because it misses a lot of what I say at times.
Well, Tobin, the most important thing is that am I as funny as I think I am?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. All right, that's important.
Unfortunately, we don't know how funny you think you are.
Oh, well, that is an important metric today. Here comes Paul Camish. What's up, Paul Camish?
Hello, I was just reading the Atlantic Treaty.
The NATO?
You had it upside down, Paul.
No, I bloody didn't.
No, this is for NATO, the Atlantic Treaty. That's what you're reading through right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be putting a lot of money onto that Article 5 part.
Yeah.
What?
Have you noticed?
Oh, Dr. Paul Camish, PhD from Kent's Shed. Very nice, sir.
I've got two of them.
Oh, you have two. A doctor of divinity in the field of ministry science. That almost sounds like a real thing if you add science on to the end of anything. A doctor of philosophy in the field of skeptology. That's good. That's good. Was your doctoral thesis on magnetism?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So, how are we all doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, to tell you the truth. I got no complaints. Day is still young, though.
I'm fairly sure I still exist.
Fairly sure. Sure.
Yep, fairly sure.
Are there any exploding balls in the document? Oh, very good.
That's a good question under the circumstances, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that graph you're showing, that is disturbing. And there's some places around Houston where people get found in ditches often, and those people never get on the front news page or anything like that. It is disturbing.
It's
especially when it can just take one person seeing them to make all the difference. You know, I think missing people should be splashed all over the place.
Yeah, definitely.
And here again, we have the technology too. I get Amber Alerts and Silver Alerts on my
Mhm.
phone. Why aren't we taking advantage of that?
Cryptomaria asks a softball question right here in the strike zone. If Gabby was black, do you think people would have looked for her?
No
They might
comment.
have sent a guy out. They might have sent a guy out on his coffee break. Said, "Hey, you should go do just make out a report saying that we did a thing." And that's just. I mean, I'm being a bit facetious, of course, but there's no way that it would be covered the same way as it is now by the media. It's, I mean, you see YouTubers, you see people in the mainstream media. They're just milking that story as long as they can, to tell you the truth.
Is Gabby the girl that was on the thumbnail?
Yeah. She, I believe her last name was Petito, and she was one who was killed by her boyfriend. Allegedly killed by her boyfriend, but I think it's pretty safe to say at this point,
Screw you, Dave.
Dave, nothing but bad trouble.
I meant their image,
Yes,
not their
yes.
innards.
Dave. Oh, there you are, Dave. Hey, what's up? Simply Secular Dave. Causing trouble, not even in the panel, and then causing trouble in the chat.
Whatever. Put a big red button in front of me and see what happens.
No, Dave. I don't. I trust you with many things, but the big red button, I don't know.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
we turned
suppose human nature.
both the
If
keys at the
you
same
actually,
time.
if you had
Okay,
a red button in front of you, a permanent red button in front of you, you'd have to
Well,
press it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a Ren
Just to
Stimpy
see what
talk about
happens,
it.
you'd have to.
No,
I mean, there's a case for that, right?
You'd be like, ooh, shall I? It's like an
Well,
electric fence, isn't it?
Yep.
It's like if you come across an electric fence, you've got to touch it. Even though it says electric fence, you've got to touch it.
Well, you want to know
Is
if
it
it's
more
on.
or less? Is it more or less?
The question is though,
enticing?
the question is though, is there a sign that says "Do not press" on the red button?
good
That
point.
is what I was about to say. Is it more or less inviting if it's just a button or if it says "Do not press"? Do you then need to press it even more?
Yeah, I'd say
Harder.
so, yeah.
Well, I think I've related this story to you guys before, but I was on one of the military ships, and we were going into the Citadel, into the center of the ship where the command and control center is. And just outside of there is a big red button. And the guy actually saw me, like, as we walked by, I was like, ooh. And he's like, don't touch that. I'm like, what does the big red button do? It's nothing. Don't pretend it's not there. It's not for you. And then the other girl spoke up and said, it's the Halon fire extinguisher system. It fills the room with unbreathable air so that the fire goes out.
Oh,
Don't touch it. I'm like, oh, okay.
okay. So now I'm really curious about this. I have several follow-up questions. Was the red button behind some kind of like plastic shield that you could flip up and then press?
It was right out in the open there. It was just tempting me.
Was the red
What-
button have any kind of sign or wording that said
Markings.
It did say FSS, which I didn't know what that meant. And it stands for fire suppression system.
But if the fire suppression system kills the fire, it sounds like it also kills you.
Well, now they planned for that.
Oh, right. Oh, good, yeah.
There
I thought they've got a
are
backup plan.
there are
The newest member
30-second
has to be
map
the one to
in there
press
for you
the
to
button.
escape.
Sorry,
I
David,
didn't
missed
hear you,
that.
Sammy. I was talking over you there.
Is it that the newest member has to be the one to press the button?
Oh no! If you see a fire, you hit the button.
so the chemicals come from
No.
from some kind of sprinkler system.
It's air. It's an inert gas. It's
Is it?
halon. It's like xenon or whatever they fill. You know, they fill windows with inert gases so that
Mhm,
they don't yeah. So it's the same thing. It just it pushes all of the oxygen out of the way so the fire can't burn.
Right.
And you can't breathe.
And you can't breathe. Yeah.
So how much time do you have to get out before it's lights out?
30 seconds.
You have 30 seconds.
Before you run out of air, you can still survive another almost a minute. 42 seconds is the average.
Okay. So
The trick is don't run. Don't run or
Hold
you'll
your
consume
breath,
your
then
oxygen.
press the button.
What's
Hold
that?
your breath, then press the button, I take it.
No, you press the button.
I
take
can
2
hold
breaths.
my breath for longer than 40 seconds, though. I mean,
Now, remember,
Oh,
you're
good.
running through a ship and going up ladders to get out. So until you hit the next level up, there's no breathable oxygen.
So you're on fire.
I'm with Sammy.
There's
the new
no
guy's pressing the button.
oxygen.
If you're on fire,
no
stay
oxygen.
there, and somebody will carry you out. Somebody will put on an oxygen mask and carry you out. But the halon will put the fire out if you're on fire. You just lie down on the
But
floor.
if I'm on fire and there's no oxygen, and you tell me not to run, I don't know. I think I'm gonna run.
Okay,
It's really important that you understand that these people go through exhaustive training. It is like they train for military stuff, but on a ship or on a spacecraft or anything like that, fire kills everything. Like not everyone, everything, right? So the idea that you understand the severity of the situation and how to handle it, these people are very, very well trained at fire suppression. If you've ever seen an aircraft carrier react,
oh yeah.
it's pretty crazy.
Well, it doesn't always go back to World War II for me, but it does go back to World War II for me. Because one of the big things about the American carriers in World War II versus the Japanese carriers is that we had an exquisite fire protection system.
Yeah, that was one of the things that cost at Pearl Harbor. Could have probably saved 2 of their ships that got hit and eventually burned to the point where their ammo exploded, or they scuttled one of the ships because of it. Yeah.
Fascinating, Dave. Whenever you start talking about work, brother, I always feel like this is an intervention.
That wasn't work. That was fun.
That was fun.
I wasn't working there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you know, these people are if you've ever been to a car accident scene, one thing you will never ever see is a paramedic or a fireman running towards the accident, because the second they get out of their vehicle, the first person out's job is to assess the threats and dangers on the site. They don't run through it. They look for power poles. They look for water. They look for.
They're just scared, Dave.
No, they're not. They're absolutely not.
They're just pussies.
Well, this is what they tell you in first aid class, basically, is survey the scene to make sure that you do not become a victim or become someone who's injured by whatever's going on.
Well, now relating this over to my work, which you kind of alluded to, there are certain situations on a ship where corrosive materials will get into a hold with metal in it or with wood in it or something like that, and it will create noxious gases and enough noxious gas to put you on the ground so that you can't actually escape. And there have been incidents in recent history within the last 10 years where people passed out in the bottom of a hold and their partner went down to see if they were okay and passed out next to them.
Now, you would think that there would be some kind of chemical detection unit there.
There's incredibly good ventilation systems on all of the car ships and on most of the cargo ships, right? The non-container ships. The container ships are ventilated fairly well as well, but they're open and there's air moving through them constantly anyway. But the ones where they put metal in a hold and put cover plates over the top and close all the hatches while they're at sea because they don't want seawater to get in there, those are the ones where buildup can happen, and they do have to ventilate them and check the air before people go in them.
So how do they check for the air?
They have what's called a gear check at the start of every ship.
They send in the newest member.
They send in a canary.
I'm with you, Sammy.
We actually use canaries as well, but not the birds. We use like the poles for pulling straps around. They call them canaries because they're sacrificial, right? So you don't put your hand under a load, you put a metal bar under a load to pull a strap through or a chain through or whatever. But they actually have an oxygen detection system and a contamination detection system. So there is a guy at the start of the shift who goes down level by level by level through and checks one at a time to make sure that everything is all green lights before people go in there. And I think they have to ventilate, and it would depend on the volume of the ventilation system, between 20 minutes and an hour in every hold to make sure that there's enough fresh air from, blown through it. So it is something that is a very serious threat, and they do all they can for prevention in that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Each
Just
2S filters, yeah.
Yeah, just be careful of the guys that want to get high and go in there early.
I'm not saying it happens, but if you were to go into one of the smaller holds and there's 4 holdmen and their foreman and a hatch tender and possibly somebody else there as a surveyor, an observer, something like that, and all 7 of those people happen to smoke or vape, and they happen to have like a 5-minute break between something going on, and they all decided to smoke at the same moment, it's like being in a 1970s nightclub.
Right. I imagine it is.
Yeah.
I imagine it is.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any big plans for the weekend?
Oh, I heard Laughing in Disbelief may or may not be hosting the Saturday end of the month Drinking Out Loud show with...
Yeah, I'm going to have to reschedule that because it's my girlfriend's BFF's. And I have to get back to Neil about this. I went to bed, as you could probably tell, super early last night because I was up super early this morning.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I have to contact Neil about that. Thanks for reminding me, Dave.
Now, I'm not going to say that I was on Neil's stream last night, and I promised him that I'd mention that to you today. I'm not going to say that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, our schedule has gotten, or my personal schedule has gotten busier, of course, with work and everything. And I know I'm doing. I was having this conversation before this 9 o'clock this morning with my girlfriend about the stream that I'm on with Robert Stanley on Sunday at 9 a.m. Robert Stanley on his show, Right to Reason.
Oh.
And we're going to be riffing on Christian trailers, movies, Christian movie trailers. And so I know I'm doing that at 11 a.m.
Are you doing a Sunday night show as well?
I'm not doing a Sunday night show. Right now, I am just trying to maintain what I'm doing competently.
Very nice. You're doing a wonderful job.
I'm making a good faithless effort at it. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you're getting the appropriate number of likes and dislikes, I think.
Well, my goal is that I want to be hated by the right people. I've been able to do that on the blog pretty well. Now I just want to try to be that successful on YouTube.
Yeah. So it's you mentioned something about a birthday this weekend.
It's my girlfriend's friend's birthday. She's flying in from Colorado. We're going to Providence. Her guy is a professor, and we're going to be doing he's over here on a conference, and so we're going to be doing some stuff in Providence.
Oh, okay. So I thought you said it was the girlfriend's birthday, but it's the girlfriend's friend's birthday.
Her birthday is coming up, by the way. And so I have to see, Dave, you are just a good reminder for me.
Don't forget to like, share, tell all your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And if you can afford it, throw a few shekels his way.
Thank you. Yeah. There's things start getting kind of bogged down in my brain, as
brain bog.
Brain bog. That's what it is. Yeah. So that is what I am doing. I have to contact Neil and Seamus and try to do it. And I don't even think I can do it next weekend either. Maybe we can, because there's the Women's March that's going on against the Texas, ban, or the Texas law, the anti-choice law. And so we're doing that, and we might be doing some apple picking. I don't know. Her company's doing apple picking. I've never gone apple picking. She has assured me that there's actually no picking of the apples.
What?
Yeah, I'm not.
Is that like those door knocking jobs where there's absolutely no door knocking involved? Because that's what it sounds like, Andy.
Yeah.
But if you're not going up a ladder, like a really sketchy old wooden ladder
Yeah.
with a bunch of bugs crawling all over you, and birds challenging you for the best apples at the top of the tree. I mean, it's not really apple picking, then, is it?
Andy,
Yeah.
How did you not instantly ask, how is this apple picking then? Because my brain wants to know now.
Okay, so I think because this is a business, and I don't want to, she's not in the chat, so I can't get into that much trouble, I guess.
Oh, you're so wrong.
So her company, they're doing some kind of bonding, kind of team building, and you can bring your friends or your relative or your loved ones, and we're going to this is what I know right now, is that there's an orchard where there are apples. Some people may choose to go pick for apples, though this is not necessary. There are many apples to be purchased there, and there is, of course, cider and other apple goodness,
Other apple related
activity. And I want to tell you, this is how much I love my girlfriend, because in the past, it has always been a solid no to anything like this. It's just been I am just not interested in this, and I am not. But I have gotten to be kinder, gentler, and a lot of my rough edges have been are now smoother.
Well, I found with things like that, it's generally you either have to enjoy the activity itself or enjoy being around people. And if you're the kind of person who just never likes to be around people, it has to fall on the activity.
Yeah. Well, there is a selfish reason why I would want to go to this activity, is because I want to see what our co-workers are like, and there's always a chance for a new story or new material. Right? Meeting new characters, colorful personalities. I'm sure I've told you the last time she brought me out to meet co-workers at her last job, and I called someone a fucking racist. I was fucking trashed. Yeah, and she's like, "You're going to behave yourself this time." And I said, "Yes. One, there's no alcohol involved, probably. And two, even when I was trashed at the incident, I was trying to say it when we were in a really crowded bar, and I thought we were far away from this person. And she's standing to the left, to the right of me. And I go, yeah, she's like fucking racist. And as I'm saying the word fucking racist, I turn around and there this woman is. Well within earshot.
Okay, so what are the chances that they have hard cider at this apple orchard?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know I'm not going to bring my flask. I know I'm going to behave myself.
And if they've got hard cider, Andy, hit it.
Get it.
And then crack out the video camera though. Make sure you record any interactions.
Watch me roast my girlfriend's co-workers.
I would really like to see somebody, maybe the girlfriend, if possible, if she could like have one of those pair of glasses with the speaker and mic and camera on them, or just maybe a GoPro Hero, and just keep an eye on things. Maybe even fan the flames, fuel the fire a little bit, and say, "So, Andy, what do you think of Janice?"
Oh yeah. Well, my daughter might be coming with us too, and we're bad influences. She's 16. We're bad influences on each other when we're together. Solidly bad influences. But I'm going to try to. Oh, you've been listening. The girlfriend says, "Oh no."
And she has a GoPro.
Busted.
Good. So
I like the girlfriend more and more every show.
So we have to hope for This is Janice. She says all lives matter.
Oh, right. I want to make these. I want to make that graph that I showed in the first show. I want to make it into like a card that I can just take with me
Yeah.
and just hand it out.
You want to be that bloke.
That bloke when he's drunk too. You know, just like I
Oh, speaking of cards and things you hand out to offend people, have you seen? There's a tweet going around about a funeral home that has rented a truck,
I saw that.
and it says something about "Don't get vaccinated, we'll see you soon."
Yeah, yeah, that's
They have
brilliant.
their website on there, and if you go to their website, the website is just a black page that says "Don't get vaccinated, and we'll see you soon."
That's great. I haven't clicked onto the website, but I saw the. I did see that
Yeah, it's like
image.
Williamson Funeral Home or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Tesla saw it. Yeah. It's spreading quickly. Almost as fast as COVID.
Oh,
Too soon?
We've been in it for over 20 months, so I don't think it's too soon, Dave. I
Yeah.
don't think it's too soon.
Yeah.
That's like the meme I sent to you yesterday, Andy. A cartoon lady saying, you can't do anything about stupid. And then the coronavirus saying, I changed it to say, hold my beer.
Right. Yeah. It's You don't get to see natural selection really play out in real time that often. But yeah,
Not in such big numbers. You know, you see the odd case,
right.
of
Yeah.
course, but
Well, there's a serious case now that can be made. I mean, for the long time we had the Darwin Awards.
Yeah.
But there's I forget what they call it, intelvolution or something like that, where the intelligence of the person involved affects how that species evolves. And we are now seeing like how people who will easily submit to the simplest possible thing to believe
Yeah.
are being eliminated from the population.
Yeah. That's all. I don't know. There's so many
Yeah.
wrong things I could say right now, and I've been trying to, and I've been pretty good. I
You've
think.
been holding back so much on basically saying, let those fuckers die. Why do we even?
well,
I've been trying to save my energy for the grifters and the people with the large platforms. They are my normal targets, and
Yeah.
I'm going to keep to them. I don't want to hit down, and I always try to keep my targets to be people who are worthy of being ridiculed.
Yeah.
it's like the religion thing, you know. You have to try and keep that empathy for the duped.
Yep.
As much as you want to be, you know, disappointed or angry, you've got to keep in mind that they are just duped.
Yeah.
And it's also part of when you step into atheism, you have to, you really need somebody to grab you and take you through it, because you need to get out of the angry phase. I've been lied to. All these people are shitting me. Half of them know it's garbage, and they're still like shoveling this shit in my face for years and years and years. You feel angry about it. But what you have to remember is at least half of those people believe. Whether they believe for good reasons or bad reasons does not matter. But the result of what they were saying and doing around you was a result of them actually believing. And you have to have some empathy for that.
but another thing is we should not be apathetic though, because there are decisions that are made and people are using those fallacious like ways of thinking on important stuff.
Yeah.
Like the COVID or voting or
You're spot
so
on.
it needs to have a pushback. We need to have opposition. We need to make fun of them, ridicule, shame them.
Over everything else,
I'm disgusted by it.
we need an education of epistemology, and we need to teach people what fallacies are and how they work. I mean, from a very early age.
And it's how where you sit in the theater is how you see the play. So if I'm up here in liberal Massachusetts, and a lot of people are vaccinated. Tobin is in Texas, and I can definitely see how where you are in the country determines on how you feel about the unvaccinated.
And of course, us up here in Canatopia.
Nice. You've been working on that, Dave? You've been working
No,
on
it just came to me.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got our share of idiots as well over here. That guy I was talking about before that on Facebook, I've had to delete him off Facebook. It got to the point as everyday anti-vaccine and conspiracy theories. Literally every day, Facebook was just full of it. I just deleted him the other day. I couldn't take no more of it.
Yeah.
It's just no talking to him. No matter what you say to him, it's just no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Also, just quick question. Dr. Paul Kamish, PhD from Kent's Shed. Shouldn't that be Kent's cell? Doesn't he have 30 days coming up?
Yeah, but it's from his. I actually got the PhD from his shed though, so I got it from the same place he got his. So I'm as qualified as what he is.
Patriot U?
As well.
Patriot U? Did he get his degree from Patriot University?
Well, it's some sort of shed somewhere, isn't it? I don't know what
It is a shed somewhere. You're right.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is how important I thought the news stories were today. Is like Ken Hovind got busted for 30 days. He's in jail, isn't he, for like 30 days? I saw that.
So, for those of us that live under a big red rock, is that for domestic abuse?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Has he actually been sentenced for that yet?
I believe he did.
Right. So he's locked up now.
No. He's under bond.
Right.
Hang on. Let's share screen. For those of you who aren't familiar with Patriot University,
You gonna show us the picture, Dave?
this is it.
This is great. I wonder what their fight song is. Right. This is Patriot University right here.
Yeah.
I believe they're fighting Animal of the Mole Rat. So somewhere out in the middle of the desert, there's a shed. Yeah. They should do there's a hole in the bottom of the sea sort of song. That would probably be, there's a shed in the middle of the desert. There's an idiot in the shed in the middle of the desert.
As long as it doesn't ruin the SpongeBob SquarePants song, Dave, I'm happy with that.
Hey guys.
What's up, Glenn?
Hey,
Glenn.
Hey, what's happening?
Speaking of Canatopia.
Yeah. I just wanted to quickly mention something where you were talking about the deplorables in
Australia.
In your thing, in your show. I saw this meme that goes, you can't call me a deplorable. You can't call me a deplorable. You're not going to deplore me, as in deport me.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always said, people go, oh, how can you say that? I go, if the shoe fits, like, let's face it, the percentage of the Trump supporters were not exactly information people.
No, low information folks. And,
Yes.
Well, on the other hand, they might have a lot of information. It's just all garbage, right? Garbage out. So they might know a lot, but it's about it's all shit.
Are you trying to tell me that Fox News, Newsmax, and OAN are not reliable news sources?
I'm going to tell you that a lot of stuff they learned in theology and PhDs in terms of the mysteries of the Trinity. That's all bullshit too.
Yeah, true.
Can you imagine if we actually get to the point where we have an independent quorum of fact checkers to basically anyone who says they're a news channel to actually have like control of a banner on the screen that says this is false, this is unverified, this is based on theological arguments, this is a fallacy, this is to actually put that on the screen. If we got to that point,
it would make a difference.
The only trouble I see with that is we're just pushing the problem up another level. The people controlling the banners is just going to be the same. They're going to be puppets of somebody else.
Well, no,
you
that's
know,
why
who are they to decide? It'd have to be pretty independent,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just broken and
You get to,
skeptical these days.
yeah, you get to the question of who will police the police.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But there are ways to do it. Like now, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but
We're
I've
going to talk
been
about
having an
blockchain
argument.
because I feel like we're going to start talking about blockchains now.
I've been on a bit of a rant for the last week with a theist who believes that because science can be done wrong and because papers can be written with inaccuracies on them, like basically on your show the other day that you talked about the woman who did the what was it, the blood testing machine?
Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah. What was the Theranos?
Theranos. That was the name of the
Theranos.
company.
Yeah. So that science was done wrong. It was done wrong intently and on purpose by people who were motivated to make money.
Yep.
It was debunked by science, by good science, by better science, by independent science.
Yep.
Right? So this person's argument is if science can be done wrong, then science is not the best method by which we can uncover truths about the world around us.
Let me say just this. Whenever someone says something like this, I think of Winston Churchill and his comment about democracy. And to paraphrase, it's a shit system, but it's better than anything else.
Exactly. It is without question the best way we have of handling that in the world around us right now. And
what other method can you use? Give us another method.
Right. Well, if you equate this to the fact checking, like real-time fact checking, and you put together a group of 17 people who are going to have buttons in front of them, and when something comes across the screen and you have an agreement of 50+% of those people that this is dogma, this is a fallacy, this is whatever, then it comes up on the screen. Now, if somebody consistently is outside of the agreement of the group, then you have to look at why that is, right? And if that person is applying their personal bias, I mean, we all apply our personal experience to what we do. But if a person is acting with bias in that position, then you have to examine that and probably replace them. But you don't want to get to the point where you're replacing someone because you disagree with them. You want to replace somebody because they're inaccurate.
Is it really bad to have a bias, though? I mean, like, I think I am biased, but I'm aware of it. So, I mean,
well, and that's a big part of what science does as well, is to identify the bias and try to overcome it. And that's why there is when we do a scientific test and we can demonstrate that something is the way we make a prediction, we test and test and test, and we show that it's correct. When that isn't the end of the line for that. That continues to be tested. It gets tested with different methods and better methods. And we may test it with a different method and find out something completely new that's unrelated in a different field, which happens all the time in science. Science is very accidental in its discoveries. So,
And
You see, okay.
Hang on, just before you say that, because this is real quick. I agree with everything you're saying, Dave. I'm skeptical about humans because no matter how good the science is, the most powerful men in America went on TV and essentially told people to shoot bleach into their fucking arms. So
guys, I just dispatched for work. I got to run. Sorry,
I'll
I got
see you, Dave.
to out on you, but
Good seeing you.
take care, guys.
Later.
Don't forget to
Work
call
safe.
Neil and tell him about Saturday.
I'll do so. Thank you, Dave.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, I just doubt the
Okay.
effect that it would have. You would just create more conspiracy theorists that the people controlling the banners are the Illuminati or
Yeah.
QAnon.
You see,
it just
you see that-
passes it along.
You see, the problem I also see is I saw this report on CNN where they went to and spoke to people about conspiracies about the election and the vaccines and everything, and because they said, well, you can't trust Facebook because they take down conservative stuff and all that, and then they go and then because because there were a lot of there's a lot of misleading memes and stories on Facebook, and they've hired independent fact checkers to do it, and then someone goes, and these are reputable places like PolitiFact, Snopes, I don't know how you say it, and okay, and basically what they said is that they hired by Facebook so they can't be trusted. These are independent fact checkers that are putting their reputation on the line when they are fact checking, and it's this is the kind of this is the Trumpification of American media and social media and stuff like that. And another one was they went to a thing and they go, "You're going to get vaccinated?" She goes, and they go, "No," and they go, "Well, Trump got vaccinated." He goes, "Well, that's what they say."
That's what
He said it at a speech. He said it at a speech. He said it in a speech. I got vaccinated, and they still
sued him.
Yeah, it's like don't believe what you see right in front of you, pretty much. You know.
Well, it becomes a question, and once again, we talk about the skeptic's toolbox here quite a bit. But one of the basic tools is just how do you know what you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also, in response to creating a set of fact checkers, the premise of what Dave was saying of correcting misinformation, in his analogy, those other scientists correcting would be other news organizations.
Yeah.
Putting out their own reports to correct the information.
Yeah. But the problem,
we already have competing news organizations, and supposedly the ones that do better at reporting the truth should be doing better. But it's like, no, that's not working.
No, but you see, that's the thing is that it doesn't make a difference because I'm not saying that the left-leaning ones don't lie or the centrist and left-leaning ones don't lie, but let's face it, if you want to say who's more reputable, CNN or Fox or Newsmax or OAN, there's the first one's obviously 10 gazillion times more reputable because they have opinion people, yes, but they report news. They don't report you actually have full-on conspiracy theories floating on Fox News, and it's not new. And
what's crazy is there's actual sources to where you can see the actual videos of people talking. You can see C-SPAN. You can hear our government talking about these certain issues and stuff like that. And you can go to the White House and they on YouTube and go to their channel and watch their briefings and hear it come from their mouths. And
let's face it, Fox News, those three networks I mentioned, those viewers are not watching C-SPAN. Let's face it. Well, they're not watching C-SPAN. They're not watching anything out of their little bubble.
It's difficult to control for stupid when you have stupid baked in and incentivized within the system.
Yeah. It's
people don't talk about logical fallacies in schools. I mean, it's difficult to control that when it seems to be a feature of the system.
Yeah. Oh no, listen, I'm not saying that. I'm not pretending that what goes on in this world, when it comes to each media have bills to pay, and there is always a slant. I say, for the most part, I'd say. Yes, CNN is left leaning, but overall they're pretty. They do have opinion hosts, but they are reliable.
I have spent a good amount of time yelling at CNN. It's one of the news sources I look at. So yeah, there are definitely times that it's like I'm looking at an interview, I'm watching an interview, and it's like this is an obvious question that you should be asking your guest, but you're not for whatever reason.
Well, the problem is that there's getting both sides of the story, and there's the truth. And I think Bill Maher said it best. He goes, if there's two people, one person says the sky is blue, the other person says the sky is pink. You don't ask the person who says the sky is pink why the sky is pink. You just look out the fucking window.
Yeah.
You know, and it's there are I'd say them for the most part. Yes, I don't watch CNN. I don't have cable, so I don't watch it religiously. But I
Sure.
do watch a lot of their videos, and they do tend to call out the bullshit a lot more than most people.
But-
You know.
Oh, there's no doubt that they're you know, I agree with that, Glenn.
And you're forgetting one thing, Glenn. They just say the sky is blue.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
It sounds
but
very conspiratorial.
Yeah.
Let's
Hmm.
think about this.
Yeah, like I said, I've always said that, you know what, it's there's a saying, there's three sides to every story. There's yours, there's mine, and there's the truth.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
it's important to talk about like scholarly consensus, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you have these quacks that
Yeah.
might have MDs or PhDs from Patriot University or whatever, and they come on these conservative news channels and start talking about how climate change isn't real or how systemic racism isn't real. And is that really the scholarly consensus? No, it's
Yeah.
not. They're using
Yeah.
quacks to support
Yeah.
their political positions.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, you know, like I said, I'm skeptical of a lot. Like I used to, just like when I was on Facebook, a lot of times I just post stuff just because I wanted to read it later, and I'd post it without reading it and without fact checking it. And I learned pretty quickly, you got to, like, if something seems too good to be true or something seems really out there, even if it is, you know, ripping on a dumbass conservative, then, you know, you've got to fact check. And a lot of times whether it was that, you know, a lot of times I'll call people, like I'll say, listen, fact check this, because this is not even true. Like, this is not even close to the truth.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna suck my own dick for like a second or two, excuse me. But that's the point of the blog. The point of the blog is that it's a reading test basically for a lot of people. So yeah, I like riffing on, you know, people on the right wing. Don't get me wrong, and religious, you know, theocrats and and such. But it's also a fucking basic reading test for people. For people on our side of the fence too. It's like, did you check the links? Did you think it was a little bit too good to be true?
Yeah.
It's all in there. It's not, you know, I'm writing at like a very low level. You know, I'm not writing legit level.
You've only got to read more than one blog to realize that Dr. Kennard has done every possible thing you can do on this planet. He's an expert in absolutely everything.
Yeah.
I love the guy.
Kind of a dick too.
Yeah. But you see the problem with your blogs is that that stuff that actually happens is more fucking crazy than the shit you write.
That's what it is.
That's why your shit's not realistic. Like if you started posting a video and speaking in tongues, that would be realistic. If you started saying that, oh God, what was the one? Oh Jesus, fuck! I saw this thing that I posted. I'll try to find on Facebook and I'll let you guys know, because I posted just a couple days ago and it was just ridiculous. Like it's some a friend of mine posted originally. So let's see if I can find it.
I just want to say thank you, Cryptomaria, for the shekels for the Canadian $5. It's greatly appreciated.
Has there been a blog post from Dr. Kennard saying that someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene has started speaking in tongues on the floor of Congress?
I have not, though. I was just thinking about maybe writing something about someone's cat speaking in tongues, and I would have to pick the right theocrat to say that. Maybe Cat Care or someone like that. I think she would be crazy enough to say her cat's talking in tongues. Or just show a video of my cat like meowing like repeatedly.
Yeah. So there's this Christian TV host. He's Rick Wilde.
Rick Wilde, yeah. And what did Mr. Wild do? I was just thinking of my shitty bit about cats talking in tongues. Glenn, I'm sorry. I slip
We
in and out.
lost you, Glenn.
Did we
Yep,
lose
we
Glenn?
lost him.
Oh man. Ah.
He will be missed.
Cryptomeria. I know that I know that there's a difference of exchange rates between the states there and Canada, but still, I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically saying that if you eat vegetarian, you're just going to change your DNA.
I heard that, dude. I heard it makes you.
Oh, sweet. Like, honest. And the scary thing is, your shit's
What if
more,
you're
right,
already dead?
the shit you write is more realistic than that.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Copeland's
Like, it's-
getting a new jet. Does
Okay.
anyone else think that Copeland is the most demonic looking human being?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude,
He is-
this
Oh,
gives
God,
me
yes.
sweet.
Like,
Holy
I
cow.
don't want to say this.
I
This
do
is a
not
really
wrestle with
horrid thing to
faces
accuse
behind me.
people of. This is
You know-
a really horrid
Absolutely.
thing to accuse people of.
You,
I'm gonna
you,
say
you,
it.
you want to watch a creepy video, okay? So there's this,
Hang on
there's,
He
there's,
has. I have to say this. He has a pedo face.
Oh,
oh,
yeah. Well,
It is the face of a man that you would not let your children near. I'm sorry.
he's very
Yeah.
sus, as the kids would
Yeah.
say. Quite sus.
Yeah. there's just I know it's only like a, you know, like it's not really a news show, but Inside Edition did this thing where they spoke about mega preachers, and they interviewed Kenneth Copeland. They got him, and they asked him a question, and he tried to act, but even when he's trying to be nice, he looks creepy. And then they asked him, like, do you really need this jet? And he goes, and he starts getting vicious at this reporter, and I'm going, wow. It's like, and the thing is, they had these it's this infamous video where they have these two preachers and speaking on how Oral Roberts used to fly like regular airlines, and there were too many people, so he couldn't speak to God, you know. But then he goes, this one preacher goes, I'm sitting in my private jet, I'm flying, and then I hear a word, then I hear God speak to me. He goes, "Are you satisfied?" He goes, "No." He goes, "Yes." He goes, "Why? You should never be satisfied." And he goes, and he's on his knees talking, and the pilot comes back. He goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just speaking to God." Okay, so he goes, "Continue." Okay, you know, this pilot must be looking, goes, this paycheck's not worth it. But anyway, so he goes, "Yes, God." He goes, "So why, if you're not satisfied, why do you only have one private jet?" Pretty much. And I mean, it's like, and he goes, I can't fly commercial because there's all these demons and stuff. I'm going, oh, sweet. And the scary thing is that people buy this shit.
Oh yeah.
People believe this shit. You know, Paula White's a despicable human being, like, but I mean, you know what? If you're gonna go with it, you know the guy I kind of like, even though I've never seen him preach, Creflo Dollar. Because he just comes right on and says it. He doesn't even hide the fact he's
It's in the name, dollar.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Creflo Dollar. Like, he doesn't even hide the fact that he's just trying to fleece you of every last cent you got.
Yeah.
Like, he does it. All the other guys are like, this guy's going, I'm just going to name myself Creflo Dollar. And you're going to give me the money because I'm going to say that I'm a prophet and stuff.
I gotta tell you, I mean, talk about grifters, but it would be if I was on the grift, if I was doing a grift, which I'm not, you know, obviously that's not my proclivity,
Yeah.
that's not how I tend. But if I was doing a grift, I would call myself something like Creflo Dollar because it's in the name, and I'd be laughing my balls off every night.
Yeah.
Sleeping on a bed of money. That's what I'd be doing.
Well, it would literally be like DuckTales. Like, you jump into a vault with
That's like DuckTales.
with coins, you know. But yeah, so
Man, that would hurt so bad.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
hurt, right.
yeah, but you know what? It's I don't know how exactly to share TikTok videos, but there's this TikTok video. It's this Canadian. I'll get you guys his name and I'll send you it. And he does this video on like 5 things that are Canadian that that the rest of the world doesn't understand, and one of them is and he just goes off and he calls he talks about poutine, and he goes, you look and think this is a heart attack. He goes, but you know what? It's a delicious way to die, and we have free healthcare, so I can get myself fixed anyway.
Yeah, I would have just gone with it's actually a stroke and not a heart attack.
yeah. But this guy's hilarious. Like, I'll send you guys his name, and if you guys look him up on TikTok, he's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna close up a little bit early because I gotta pack, then I gotta get ready for work and everything. So thanks for Cryptomary once again. Thanks for the $5, and thank you, panel.
Are you busy? Are you just packing for work or just for?
We are spending, I think, 2 nights in Providence, Rhode Island. The girlfriend's friend is coming in from out of town. There's a conference, blah blah blah. So I promised to obey. I've promised. There's a Freudian slip there somewhere. I promised to behave myself.
Oh, that's a promise I highly doubt you can keep.
Well, I'm not drinking. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And there's a far likelihood of me behaving.
Yeah.
I'm far less interesting. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just yeah. So it's yeah. Well, have a great weekend, guys. If
everyone have a good weekend.
Yeah, and I won't. I'm going camping on Monday and Tuesday, and so I will not be able to speak to you guys. But yeah, have a good day. Later, guys.
Take care.
Hamla.